Well, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Voice of the Rings. I'm your hosting guide, Zollin Ironshield, and today, my friends, and everybody out there, we're going to do my guys, that's inclusive of everyone, no matter who you are. We are going to basically work on Falgin. That's what I want to do in this video, okay? So I just got him. I got him in a free roll of all things, and then I did the forest box, so I got him to Respect 5. So let's talk about him a little bit, but first we're going to work on what I'm building on him, okay? So he obviously, let's just quickly talk about his points. We're gonna do a overview a little bit of his stuff, okay? So Falgin seems to be a leader hero kind of person, right? He's really good at doing stuff. He is a leader, so he gets at level 20 he gets 5 extra command, which is fantastic, and he buffs all his troops, okay? So he has Ered Luin buffs your troops, right? He's got a counterattack for his melee units. His melee units do more damage and do less damage, take less damage. His range do more damage. He's got the Musician, which if you know Dwalin or Ori, it's very, very good. Durin's Blood, the generic, they give that to every dwarf because he's a Durin's Blood dwarf. And then he's got Thrain's Guard, which is another dwarven buff, and Defensive Stance, which is another thing affected by might of all things, which is pretty cool. And then your army melee units take less damage. So very, 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 very powerful buffer of your army, right? So I'm thinking, okay, what items am I going to use for this, right? What items are we going to use? Well, I'm using Warhammer because that makes sense, right? Gives him might. His thing got buffed from might, and he has some hitting abilities to get damage, right? And then his army gets extra defense. I had this level 1. I happen to have just enough items to upgrade it fully a minute ago and also put 3 levels of Reforge into it, okay? So I'll have to get a couple more hammers in the future to finish it up. But then also it will be at total a 9%. For example, if we look over here at Ballet's version, he has a 9%, right? Because this is fully upgraded. It's the same exact one. So I thought that. And then for my second item, I'm thinking, well, there's 2 things we could do. A good item would be also to get the focus damage reduction. Like here on my Gimli, I have a quilted armor with reduced focus damage. So that could be a really good one, right? And it gives him speed, might, focus. But for now, since I already have that item on Gimli, and Gimli really needs that item, but one thing Falgin doesn't have is he doesn't have the ability that the dwarves like Dwalin has here, the Lonely Warrior, Warrior of the Lonely Mountain, which is negative 50% burn damage, right? All right, so I'm thinking, okay, well, if that's the case, for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give him this armor that I have, right? Because I have a couple of them that I just did a rolling. If you watched, I had a Matham opening coin. Same playlist on the channel if you want to check it out. So that was pretty fun, indeed it was. You know, it's a little dark in here. I just realized I didn't have any lights on for you guys. There, that's a little bit better. You can see me. So I'm going to try to use this one because it gives him might, gives his army melee defense and speed for his melee units, which he buffs all his melee units, and they receive less damage, again, stacking on his abilities. So I'm like, well, that's pretty cool, little combo there. So might be using that. I have yet to upgrade it because I technically could reforge it twice, but if I upgrade it twice, I basically have to sacrifice all of these places of the Citadel, and I'm not sure I want to do that quite yet. Should we do it? I might do it. I might just go for it. And then of course I have one that has resilience on it as well, but at a certain point, stacking melee defense is going to become a diminishing return. So I'm pretty sure having just melee units take less flat percent damage is going to be better with the already stacking stuff he has. He also has a commander might affected by speed stat. Could be good, but he's a defender and of his units, so I think that the reduction in damage is best. And then right now I'm using a full helm. So there's a couple different helms you can use. Again, another good one that I could use on him later for defending his troops would be one like this, the horse helm, that gives madness immunity to him and his allies. That could be a very, very good one. In fact, I might try to build that on him in the future. I actually do have a madness helmet ready to go, which is exciting, another one. So I could combine that. I think I might do that right now. So I'm going to be using all 3 kinds of dwarves with him because he gets a bonus for using all 3 dwarves. So he will have mounted units, so that will help his mounted goats to have more defense. So that's a good thing. I could definitely work very good. and gives him speed, which is cool. And then for his item at the end, I'm thinking, again, buffs his army, gives some army melee. The reason it's a 0 right now, guys, is because it's on him and it's not fully been equipped yet, right? So again, if I unequip this item, if I actually show you here, there you could see it gives +1, okay? So you're not like, why does it give so little stats? It's because it was equipped and he hasn't used any of them yet, because I'm working on them right now. That's the point of this video. So now the next thing I'm thinking, right, I'm helping you think through how to arm someone like this, right? So HP, defense, and focus. Now the focus, he does have an ability that comes off focus. If you're gonna go into his musician tree, this is modified by focus, right? His relief thing, which might be a good one. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go into Thrain's Guard and Erdluin Expedition as his 2 main trees. And if I have extra points in the future, I might go a little bit into Musician. But Musician's a really good one early too. So if you only have him rank 1, Musician Erdluin, he's so good already at healing and buffing his dwarves. He is going to be amazing at taking tiles early, you guys. Amazing. Okay, he's going to be like the Gandalf the Grey, okay? So right now, Balin and Thorin are very good at taking tiles early. If you're using a lot of dwarves like me, you're not using Gandalf the Grey, which is very good at taking tiles. He'll be like the best at taking tiles early, right? And later. He'll just be really good at keeping his guys alive. So even at rank 1, all right? So that's what I'm working on right now. That's what I've been thinking about. So making a decision right now in my mind what I want to do with his armor stuff. Again, what I want to do for him big time though, if I get him to rank 10, which is a possibility because I already got his letter in a free roll, which was crazy, and I have him rank 5 already. I would like to get his special item again, his accessory. It's an accessory, which is cool because all my other ones are weapons, so I can't really focus on too many more weapons. So anyway, HP for his army, defense for his army, HP for dwarves, defense for his dwarves. So again, that's why I'm going with the item that will reduce damage and not more defense, because at a certain point, this defense is going to become useless. And then, of course, he's also got all ally melee units receive less damage and range units deal more damage. And the above effects gain 0.5 for each allied dwarven type unit. And this is why I would be using all 3 kinds of dwarves, because they would all be 1.5, right? Or, hold on, maybe it would be 2. I'm not sure of that wording. The above gains 0.5. So these are flat if you have no dwarves, I think. And then you get a 0.5 for every other dwarf unit. So I think it's 2%. Should be, if you have all 3 dwarves in your army, it should be 2%. That's my guess. All right. And then that's my educated guess as a dwarven scholar. So let's do a couple more upgrade things on him, okay? So again, I'm going to be using this because it's the best one I have. Obviously something like this that my Gimli has would probably be the best item to use on him. You know, your allied melee units recover HP, and then your dwarves and stuff, but I'm giving that to Gimli because he needs his people to survive while he does the glass cannon work of destroying the enemy team. So I'm going to leave this on him, and again, all allies recover 10% HP when taking damage for the first 4 times, which is really cool, right? So it'll help heal my dwarves. So that's what I'm thinking there. And then again, I am going to actually show you this how I do this, but I'm going to use this one that has madness immunity. So I'm going to swap that out, and I'm going to show you how I do this right now, okay? So I'm going to strengthen this. I'm going to use, so I have to strengthen it once, right? So I can actually use, for refining it, I'm not going to refine it all for you guys right now. So I'm going to go ahead and just use this one to strengthen it, because that's a free one. I have a video on how to flip items, by the way, if you want to look at that. It's actually got a lot of views on it, same playlist if you want to check it out. But if you have an item that you want to flip, for example, let's say you have this helmet, right? Full helm, and you want to use a different ability, right? So like, for example, oh, these all have Inspire. Well, you get the point. See how these ones are different ones? Basically, this one was like 3-starred and had a refine in it, and suddenly you're like, oh, I'd rather use relief than manipulate, right? Then you could, that video explains it. You can basically, you strengthen the new one once, then you use the one that has the multiple ability to refine that one, and it will pull out all the refines and at once out of that original one, so you can refine and strengthen the other one. So it's a good little trick to have, but again, very cool. This could also be very interesting to use. Every 2 rounds against 1 enemy damage, they reduce the damage of your enemies. That is an interesting idea, but since we're doing with buffing, I'm pretty sure, and that this does buff more HP to my army, which is cool. But I really like the madness immunity. It's super good, you guys. There's so many characters evil that do madness and tiles that it's really good to have. Anyway, so I'm going to strengthen this up a little bit more. So I am going to use... It is really cool, though. But I'm going to go ahead and use the bone masks to strengthen this, because I don't think I'm going to use those. What else can I use to strengthen this? I think I might use this helm right here, because I don't think I'm going to use... I think I'd rather have this one on him. Boom. Strengthened. Sweet. And see, that gave me a worn out helm. And I think what we'll do is... I hate to use all of my melee helms, but this is a really good helm I have right now. So I'm going to go ahead and use them. And they're all Inspire. Wow. All those helms have Inspire on them. Crazy. All right, so we'll get it to at least tier 4. And then in the future, I'll upgrade him more. Again, I don't want to sacrifice and take off my main characters who have this, but it's a really good helmet, especially if you have the Ram Riders. That's why. If you're wondering why would you use that on dwarves? Because of the Ram Riders. It helps them. It's good. So there we go. And then again, I fully upgraded this from 1 from what I had. And now I think I'm going to go ahead and do this with you guys too right now, since if you're still with me. If you're enjoying this too, and I earned it, don't forget to like and subscribe. This is more of just a casual, fun video on how to upgrade, how to think about upgrading a character, right, as you go, with using Falgin as our description, as our subject. All right, I am definitely gonna go with, so this is why I thought about using too the massive breastplate. Commander, they lose might, allied commander gains might. So that's really that's pretty cool too. This is a cool one. Army defense plus 10, large units plus 5. I don't think I'm going to be using large units besides maybe Ents. That could be interesting, but this is a very specific thing they want to use it for. And the way I like to play my characters, I don't think I'll be using that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these awesome plates, which have some cool things, right? Search around all allies' defenses. This is for focus and for men. Again, I kind of roleplay dwarves, so fortunately, and I can't trade with my friends because my friends are like, I'll take your Plate of the Citadel. And I'm like, we can't trade though. It's so sad. So I'm going to use Plate of the Citadel to power this guy up. And again, if you're wondering which one, the might stacking thing is kind of cool, but I'm going to go ahead and stick with the and melee defense, but he's getting so much already from his abilities that I think just the flat out allied melee units damage reduction is just going to stack better because the percent just adds to the other percents. So, and then I'm going to throw the other 2 plates of the Citadel on this. Sweet. All right, and then do I go farther? I don't have enough to go farther anyway, even if I wanted to. So we're going to refine now. So I'm going to use the resilience one. Refine once. All right, now we're taking 3% less damage, and we're going to refine it one more time with this one. 4.5% reduced damage. So that is very, very good. So we're looking pretty good with our items here. Again, so we have the pipe in the corner, which I know I'm covering it. Then we have this one that's a 4-star, and I'll have to refine it more once I have some helmets in the future. Because these 2 are both maxed already. And then I've got this is very nice. Again, it'll be a lot better. I'm going to unequip them so you can actually look at them without it giving you the minus stats. So let's look at the full items we're using, okay? So again, I'm using this one on him. Beautiful. It's going to give him 6%. His allied dwarven units are going to do 6% more damage. That'll help my whole army. That's fantastic. All right, so we're using that one. And then I will be also using... I hate how you scroll through here. Oh, wait. I'm silly head. Next one. And then we'll be using this one. That will be 17 might for him, 8 melee, and speed for his army melee. This will really help dwarves, you guys, because as you all know, Dwarven Guardians are very, very slow. So that'll help in that way. And then allied melee units damage reduction as well as taking less damage. So that'll be great. And then we'll have our madness immunity, which will get better as time goes, right? As I refine this and get more of these helmets to refine. Again, I could already get up to 80-something%. It's 100 when you have it fully maxed and refined. But basically, I just need a couple more helmets to upgrade it, and then that's... But again, it's the first 3 rounds all units, so it helps you against some of those people like Grima Wormtongue and a couple of units that are just so frustrating. In fact, it makes my Thorin has no problem taking tiles that have those characters because of that, which is nice. So mounted, speed, might, wonderful. So we're going to put that on there. All right. And then we're going to get and use from our last one again. I'd love to get his item, Respect 10. That's the one I really want there on the end. But for now, when I went through all of these, this is better for men, even though it does give initiative, which is nice, and a 5% to cause gives initiative to all your characters, which is good for a second, but it's mostly focus. I also thought about this one, your range speed. It'll increase my axe storage speed, and then they heal. But again, I think this is the best one out of all mine. This is better for Ents. This one is definitely helpful, but its stats aren't, well, army, defense, and speed. That could be pretty good. Round 4, all allies remove all debuffs and recover some of their health. Now, here's the thing that'd be kind of cool about this. The debuff, like, if someone does madness on round 4, because that helmet stops in round 3, now I have a removal that'll also heal everybody a little bit, and it'll give me speed to my commander, focus to him, and then also defense and more speed to the army. So he'll actually have a rather fast Dwarven army. So it's really between that one and a pipe. But the thing is, if I am going to use the pipe later, I have 4 of them to upgrade, so kind of makes me want to stick to the pipe, because it's really good. Again, this one's a good one. Defensive Tactician. Your melee units damage, they take less. They take less damage and they do less damage for your front line, but I don't want to hurt their damage too much because that'll affect also my Goat Riders damage. So again, I'm definitely thinking I'm tending. This is for more of a like a Gimli based character. In fact, okay, my mind is turning right now, right? I'm thinking. Are you thinking with me right now? I'm thinking about my Erebor's Pride up here. That's so powerful. What if I gave this to Falgin and gave his army more HP might and his allied units recover HP, and then to Gimli, I could give Gimli that pipe. You see what I'm thinking? Because Gimli's just my glass cannon. So if I gave Gimli this pipe, the commander does more damage and his units do less, but he's doing most of the damage anyway. Now, the only problem is he's going to lose 25 might. Would that make up for the difference, right? Would the pipe percent, if I upgraded it a few times, make up for the difference of losing 25 might? How much is 25 might? Well, we can figure that out a little bit right now. This is 10 might. Let's just do a little bit of math here. All right, so right now, the percent on my character's might is... So if I give him more might, he's at 6.9%, right now. So let's just let's unequip this. Now he's at, so he lost 0.9. He lost less than 1% of damage to his army. Now I'm not sure how that more applies to his damage. So that's the hard part. Damage dealt by army. That's what we're looking at doing that. So trying to think, the percent might be better than 25 might. It might be stronger to give Gimli the other one. It could very well be, and then make Falgin even crazier buffing his troops. But again, Falgin later is going to have his item, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to go ahead and give him this. So again, that one's not going to be good for him. Melee damage is an interesting one, but I'm going to go ahead and just go with the recovery one because that seems pretty darn good. Useful. This is tempting though. This is very tempting. But I don't want to weaken all his damage of his troops too much. I'm gonna go with the Fine Smoky Pipe because again, like we talked about, that will make his army take less damage, having more focus. And not just that, if you do go into this other one, this one's affected by the might stat, which is cool, the defensive stance. But if you did do some relief, that is affected by focus as well. So, yeah. Again, let's look at these a little bit now too, Will, before we finish up here. So I'm totally getting them totally prepped, right? So allied dwarves, first 6 instances of damage received, take negative 8% for allied dwarf, damage dealt plus 8% affected modified by the might stat, which is also crazy. And this gives focus, which is pretty cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and max that one out. Wonderful. And then for the next thing, I think I'll go into having this one, that the defensive also affected by might. That's also really good. Again, this one already gives damage reduction to your melee units in your army. So that's really good too, right? So again, I'm thinking all from him as a leader point of view. This is really good to have the counterattack, which is why I don't want to reduce their damage, because whenever a melee unit gets hit, they can have a counterattack, and I don't want to be reducing their damage with the pipe. So that's why I'm going with the healing pipe instead of the damage reduction pipe. And then melee damage, take less damage, and range damage do more. So good. Against deal and one allied melee unit, next damage received less. I'm just going to stick with that one right now, and then I think I'm going to go into this. Physical damage for all allies for each Dwarven type. Again, that's why you have all 3 Dwarven units, because that stacks based on that. I'm going to go ahead and just max that out for now. I'm going to have a lot more points later. I'm going to keep mock battling him. He's 18 now, but I'm going to mock battle him once I have points again to get him much higher, much faster. And I might try to get a 260 tile to do that on sooner or later here. But anyway, you guys, what do you think? You think he's a cool character? Do you like him? Me and Jethros will probably do a review on just his skill tree and how to skill him. I kind of went over it a little bit in this video, but basically this was thinking through how to arm a character in RiseToWar, depending on 3 things, right? His abilities, his what you want to focus him on, whether it be fighting as a hero himself doing damage, like Gimli does all the damage by himself pretty much, or is he there to support his troops, which in this case I'm making him where he's to support his troops. So he's a pretty cool character. I'm really excited that I pulled his letter with a free thing in the day. So cool indeed. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful day in Middle-earth, my friends, and thank you so much to my wonderful Patreons for your support. You guys are awesome. I appreciate that. And thank you guys for clicking that subscribe button if I earned it. Yes, and the next episode will be up there in the top left for RiseToWar Legacy playlist, and my main content Literature Tales down there. So check them all out. You guys have a wonderful day in Middle-earth. See ya.